Welcome to another episode of Until It's Done, a devoted podcast. I am your host, Dana Lynn Kay, owner and founder of Devotion Nutrition, and I'm here with my lovely mother and business partner, Mickey. Hello, Mom.
Hi, Dana.
Okay, so just to keep it real with you guys, these conversations are so real to the point that, we haven't really prepped for this conversation. We know what the topic is, and we are totally going to have a real conversation about the topic. Now, we have three topics we want to talk about today. And because it's actually coming just at the right time that I called Mom yesterday and I was like, Mom, you want to do a podcast about traveling? Because it's the end of the summer. I just took my 10th plane ride for the summer, and I'm at my wit's end with traveling right now. I've had it up to my eyeballs, and I know my mom's had a lot of traveling going on this summer herself, and she also had enough by the end of her adventures, and that's a topic that I feel like other people are always, reaching out to me about how do you travel? How do you stay on track when you travel? It's also an easy excuse to say, well, I fell off because I was traveling also. And so we're going to talk about that topic. And then we're also going to talk about eating in restaurants, because for us, that's always a tough thing, because the truth be told, we love food. We love food. And as much as we also love, we've had this conversation before, we love the healthy food. There are some people who they're like, ugh, I don't like vegetables. I hear it all the time. People will ask me for help and they'll say, oh, I'm not really a vegetable person. Oh, fruit is not my thing. Or I don't eat enough protein. I'm not really. And it's like, okay, well, they struggle with eating healthy. We don't struggle with eating healthy. We actually love our healthy food.
We love everything.
But we love everything. That's our problem. That's our problem. Flavor. And a lot of times we'll go on, we're eating healthy for, whatever, our lifestyle, but we see things all the time that we say, and you always say, when do we get to eat that? Oh God, when do we just get to eat the bagels and the cream cheese and the lox and the French toast and like all the yummy stuff that you see on brunches? Or, I love pizza. I love Mexican. I love Chinese. I don't discriminate against any of that stuff either. So that's why I always say with struggle, because it's it is a struggle. We're surrounded by delicious, amazing food. We are traveling to places all the time that have great restaurants and food options, and we want to be social. And when family gets together, what are we always planning what we're going to do? It's
everything centers around food. We all know that.
Everything.
It's just for everybody.
Right. Holidays, birthdays.
You get together with people. What do you do when you're going out to eat?
Right, exactly.
Try to think of a different activity.
You saying you want to come over and do archery? It's no, you're invited. Come over for dinner. Let's go to dinner. And then the first thing you're always planning is the menu. Yeah. And then it's you want a menu that everybody loves. It's okay, we're going to do grilled chicken, and we're going to do, it's no, we're going to do something fun that makes it fun for the family. But usually that always, it's a lot of calorically dense foods and delicious foods. So, and the one thing that we also love is birthday cake. With buttercream icing and...
Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore.
So you say, we're always okay, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I'm seriously not doing it anymore because David had his baby smash cake party on my new turf in the back of the house.
Yeah.
And they left in a hurry and left this icing, the smash cake icing all over my new turf, and it was blue. And I tried to get it off. It literally took me about a bottle of cleaning soap and maybe an hour to scrub it off, because it's like Vaseline stuck into the turf.
And that's what we're eating.
And after I saw what that was like, it was gross.
Yeah.
No, I'm not eating that.
Yeah. It's it's so, sometimes even in the food you eat, you can tell it's just oh my God.
Yeah, I'm done with buttercream.
And sometimes what really also will turn me off is when because I love to bake, obviously, and I would make recipes, and it's 2 cups of, butter or
sugar,
6 sticks of butter. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, like this is what we're eating?
Banana cake recipe.
Right. Which is why I turned it into the devotion banana cake recipe. And that's like now it's like the only one I'll make because it's like both are delicious. So why would I use the one that needs cups and cups of butter and sugar and flour and oil and
you've transformed every recipe.
Oh, every recipe. That's the whole, All right. So traveling, it's like a love and hate thing because there's times that you're always saying like, Dana, you're young, you got to travel, you got to go, you see the world and do this and experience that. And then we travel and we're like, ugh, I'm done with traveling. I can't stand traveling. It's like, oh God, I get all so thrown off. And so it's like,
all right. I personally dread traveling. Besides that, I hate to pack. That's
I hate
the worst.
packing.
But the other thing is I try to be on a routine of working out every day, and then I try to make healthy choices and eat, pretty clean.
Yep.
And when I travel, no matter how hard I try to stick with, my plan, it never works out. I'm always starting again when I get back.
Yeah.
And usually I'm up several pounds. And I just can't stand it.
Because traveling, when you're home, it's like you can structure your day and normally like your day, when you're traveling, you're expected to go do stuff and you're on the go and we're doing this activity and we're out there and we're on taking a hike and a boat like whatever the activity is. And when you're on vacation and you're sightseeing, so you're not like near your kitchen and packing your meals. It's not easy. You're not in your car. You're not. So, and then you feel almost guilty. You just paid to go on some trip and it's like, oh, so I'm carving 3 hours out of my day to like go to the gym, lift weights, do cardio. So you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do that. No, I can do that at home, but then you're not doing the stuff that's keeping you fit.
Yeah. And then with the food, they never, I went to Ireland this year and I literally could not find anything on the menu to eat. There was nothing clean to eat at all. And I basically lived on scones and came home the fattest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah. And it really adds up quickly.
And I wanted to make good choices. They do not have tossed salad. They just didn't have the kind of food I'm used to eating.
Yeah.
So that was horrible.
Yeah. And you went to Europe. You went on a fabulous tour.
I went on a fabulous supercar tour, but our day was scheduled every second till midnight. So there was no time to work out.
No.
The food was all that Michelin star.
Super, super high end, small portions, but very rich.
Yeah. That one I didn't do as poorly as I did on my Ireland trip.
Yeah.
Because I tried hard not to overindulge with drinking.
Right.
Stuff like that.
But every meal there was drinking and desserts and there were, sauces and all this stuff.
Yeah, it was very rich. It wasn't what I'm used to.
No. And I always say, it's like, okay, you can get away with like, one meal out, 2 meal, whatever. But it's like, if you're away for 11, 12 days or whatever, you had a long trip and then you're not even near a kitchen. You're not making your own food. How much food are you supposed to carry with you? And then how long is it going to last?
We're going to talk about that.
Right. Exactly.
I bring as much as I possibly can.
Yes.
There is a limit to how much you can bring.
Yeah.
Even though I just spoke to my girlfriend yesterday and she told me that she has been known to take her air fryer in a suitcase, because like you used to do, Dana, she has a dedicated suitcase for her food.
Oh my God. I have taken a NutriBullet to Vegas. I've taken a thing that heats up your water to make boiling water to put in my oatmeal. We use coffee makers when we get to the hotel to make the hot water. Right. Oh my God. I will smuggle whatever I can. I try.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about, we pretty much do the same thing. Look, whether you learn some things from me or I learn from you.
Yeah.
And again, not to mention my mother so much, but my parents never left the house on any day trip or long trip or whatever without packing food.
Right.
I think a lot of that was economic because they certainly weren't going to take us out to eat.
Yeah, and there were 4 girls, and so it's a family of 6.
A lot of money, so, we were always conservative, but... Yep. I don't know. It was still great. I remember the food was always delicious, whether it was tuna sandwiches with tomato soup.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And it all comes down to being preparing in advance, right?
All right. So let's talk about.
Okay. So some of the things that we do.
No matter where we go, we both kind of
because
pack
it does.
The same.
Okay. So even if we still have like every trip I went on this summer. So I said, I've just taken 5 trips in a row in the last like 6 weeks. Every trip I've been on to dampen the blow, because yes, I'm still out of my routine, and I'm not eating exact. I'm not making my big ass salads. I'm not doing all the things. So, and I still have to eat some meals out, but to like make it so that it's not a complete catastrophe.
Yes.
I do have tricks that I do. So, I know, and you have certain things. I mean, we do a lot the same now because we've like even shared ideas and things, and we've learned things along the way.
Well, let's just start, Dana. First of all, the first thing you have to do is go to the airport.
Yes.
Okay. So now there's delays all the time. Okay. So I'm always prepared for that too.
Right. And you have to rule out liquids, though. But
Okay.
what the misconception, because every time I post on social media that I'm bringing my food, people are like, you can get that through security? Oh, they'll let you fly with that. I don't know what country you're living in that they're not letting you take. You just can't take liquids over, I think it's 3.4 ounces. Other than that, you can take it all. And also, even if you put your protein in a plastic baggie, they will not confiscate it thinking that it's drugs. I don't know where that started.
No,
I don't know.
I bring food.
So like stop it with that
problem.
misconception. Bring your food.
Okay. The only thing I've ever had them look into, but they didn't confiscate it, is if I pack a quantity of devotion, so it's a powder, in a baggie.
Yeah.
I normally portion pack in little snack bags,
Right,
in a
right.
quarter cup.
Right, the scoop, 1 scoop portion.
Okay, but if I happen to do like a big amount because I'm going someplace like Aspen or something, sometimes they'll check that out.
Yeah.
To see
but
if
they
it's a
never
drug,
confiscate
but they
it.
never take it.
Okay. So they just want to make sure, what the heck is this powder? Okay, fine.
Okay. All right. So first of all, we take food with us to have at the airport. So the first thing I would do is I'm usually on some kind of plan, or we always both make crock pot chicken. We have our salads.
Yep.
So I would pack like 2 meals.
Just for traveling.
For traveling.
Exactly.
I mean, because first of all, how many meals can you keep? Depends on where
And
we're
I do
going.
them. I do them in those disposable
Yes, me too.
Tupperware things, and sometimes I hang on to them if I'm at the airport and I can rinse them out easily and put them back in like a Ziploc baggie so they don't mess up my travel bag.
Right.
But if not, all right. So like you don't feel awful if you eat the meal and then dispose of it.
Right. Same here. All right. So you have that meal. All right. And then I always have, and I made a whole list of what I bring.
Okay.
To snack on or to have.
Okay. What's your list?
Okay. All right. My list for just on the plane or just in general?
We could do just in general.
In general, all right. Like you, I put everything into another bag because I don't want anything to spill out and make a mess. So it's a bag in a bag. Okay. So I always portion pack oatmeal into.
Yep. Same.
Okay. I make devotion granola.
The oatmeal granola with the protein. Yep,
yes,
that's delicious.
I love that, to sprinkle it on my devotion pudding. I make pudding out of my devotion, not so much I bring a shaker bottle, but not always having a shake.
Right.
I bring either pre-measured devotion packets, or I bring the devotion packets that you
the protein
sell.
packets,
Okay.
yep.
All right. I always bring disposable spoons and bowls.
Always.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it oatmeal? Okay.
And FYI, if you just even had a protein packet, that's why it's the beauty of devotion, is that you can eat it off of a spoon. If you just even had your devotion packet with a plastic spoon, when you're on the airplane, if you ask, they give you a plastic cup anyway for your water, and they have water. So there's your protein pudding just in case.
Well, you remember, you can just rip the top off.
You can rip the top off and just put water in. Right, because it's a line.
Foil.
Right. So it's like, okay, there's your
out of that.
20 grams of protein right there on a pinch.
Now, that's when I just sprinkle a little bit of devotion granola in there, and then it's crunchy.
Yep.
So I love to do that.
Yeah.
You have the recipe on your website.
Yes.
Okay, so then there's always cut up apples, celery, red pepper.
I do cucumbers. I love cucumbers.
Oh, you like those, yeah.
Yep.
Almonds.
Lots of almonds. And you can pre-portion your almonds too if you have a problem with controlling your almonds.
Yes, some of us do.
So, yeah.
Blueberries.
Yeah.
Everything washed, ready to go.
Yep.
The little packets of tuna, which...
Those are great for travel.
Okay. Oh, I've brought hard-boiled eggs. They stink a little bit.
Yes, you bring the hard-boiled eggs.
You bring them.
Yep. You can take turkey meat or chicken meat or whatever. Yep.
I cut it up into bite-sized pieces. I'll bring chicken in little baggies as well. Bring rice cakes.
Yep.
Bring that Justin's almond butter that's already
in the pre-portioned.
Yep. Then we make the devotion loaves or muffins.
That has been my summer
fabulous.
savior. I mean, we've been doing them for years and years with the muffins and the loaves, but just meaning this summer, I have just been plowing through loaves. I just ate one on the way here, actually.
Yeah, you always eat a plain, but boy, if you cut that in half.
Put it in the air fryer.
Or on the griddle.
Oh my God. And I put sugar-free jelly or whatever. Oh God,
okay, well, I like almond butter.
And you
on
like
it.
almond butter melted.
But the sugar-free jelly, the new Smucker's squeeze bottle, is like over the top delicious.
Yeah, that's good too.
Okay. All right. So then I also bring that squeeze Mio, which my favorite flavor is peach mango.
Okay, you won't need that for long because Devotion will.
Well, I was hoping you'd come up with something.
Yes.
And then I bring Truvia packets. I don't want to be stuck without my sweetener.
With us, yep.
Okay. Shaker bottle.
Okay, I also liked, I just bought these the other day. I brought smoked salmon.
Oh, yes.
And then also, if I'm in a pinch, now I don't keep beef jerky in my house, and I don't eat much beef jerky. It's just too chewy. It hurts my jaw. But if I'm in a pinch and I'm at the airport and it's like, oh my gosh, I just need something, I will grab beef jerky. But I have actually fallen in love with salmon jerky from Canada. There's a company called Hardy Boys.
Yes, I bought it.
Oh my God, it's called candied salmon, candied salmon.
Yeah, it's delicious, but just keep in mind, it's very oily and it makes a mess.
So when you travel, now, but that's the other thing. In my backpack, I always have wipes, like little wet wipe things.
Okay.
Because no matter when you're eating, I mean, you always should have like something, even when you're eating your vegetables.
I never take wipes, I have napkins.
I have wet wipe things, these like clean freak things. And so even if I'm eating my chicken or I'm whatever, then you can wipe your hands when you're done.
All right, so that's basically
those
what
are
I travel with.
Yes. And then that's for the airplane. And then when you get there, if you're staying in a hotel, first of all, I have gone to the extreme. There have been a few trips that I really needed to stay on point.
That's when you're doing a modeling, what do you call that? A photo shoot.
If I'm doing like a photo shoot, so it's like I can't risk not eating well because it will show up on my body rather quickly if I'm not. I will even find a meal prep company wherever I'm staying, and I've done this in California quite a few times. I'll call the hotel and I will make sure that they put a mini fridge in my room. And then I will call a meal prep company in California and I will order meals exactly to my portions. I'll say I need like 5 ounces of chicken in every meal. Can you put vegetables and a 1/4 cup of rice or whatever it is? I order the meals. They deliver them to my hotel. I stick them in my fridge. And then I'm really on point,
But Dana, if you bring what we're saying, it gives you snacks and it gives you breakfast. I never go out for breakfast
when I'm traveling, ever. I feel like it's a wasted caloric on your trip. It's stupid.
Agree. Well, anyway,
I do my oatmeal, my Devotion.
That's what I eat anyway, so why not eat it in my room?
Right. And like the other funny thing is people, I say people forget, I forget that like wherever you go, I mean, unless you're going to some far off island where there's nothing, there are stores. So like sometimes when I get there, if I make it my business to like, say, okay, where's the nearest grocery store? And I go there and I get a sleeve of rice cakes and I get, it's like, okay, at least I can, at least you can go into the store and grab some things that you need and then have them in your room and you're not letting yourself get so hungry so that then when you do go out to eat on vacation, you're not to the point, because that's what happens to me. I'll get so hungry and then I'm like, I'm on vacation and I'm hungry.
No, but
and
that's why you have to have all this stuff with you.
Right.
So that.
Yeah. Because trouble always happens when I let myself get too hungry and then I lose like that, like I don't care or something.
Okay. Now let's talk about, so that's what, and then, I know. You want to just tell everybody how you, in your room, you use your little coffee maker.
Yes, I've been showing this on my Instagram for years. No matter where I travel, there is usually a coffee maker in the room. And so I will use it not only to make my morning coffee, which I always have, but I will also use that for the hot water. And then what I do is they always give you a coffee cup with your coffee maker. I put my pre-portioned oatmeal that I brought in the coffee cup. I put my hot water through the coffee maker and then I let it sit. I put the top on and the oatmeal will absorb to the point that, it'll be pretty darn good. And then I just take my packet of Devotion with my plastic spoon. I put it into the cup. I like to make it like on top of the oatmeal as like an icing, the pudding. And there we go. I have my oatmeal. And then if you wanted to add your nut butter or your almonds or whatever, you can. But that is how I start my day if I'm traveling, and it buys me time. It's also a great afternoon snack. If you're caught, you can have your almonds and your Devotion again. So, I mean, that's a huge part of why with this brand, we made the protein to be that versatile. Yeah. Because most proteins were always just like, you have to have a shake.
See, if I'm stuck at an airport or on the airplane, I'll make the pudding, and then I put some of the Devotion granola on top of it.
Yeah, and it's so satisfying.
And it's a meal. It's great.
Yeah.
You know, and then eat some vegetables.
That's a thing. People often ask, is Devotion a meal replacement? Devotion is a protein powder, and it's a versatile protein powder, but we're alone as a protein. Yes, it can be a little snack, but a full meal is when you put it with your carbs and your fat and you actually turn it into, like, I consider that loaf one of my meals because it has enough carbohydrates. It has almost, I think it's 29 grams of carbs from the pure pumpkin and the oatmeal. And then it has the egg whites and the Devotion. So it's actually like a perfect, it's a little under 300 calories. In fact, I don't buy protein bars anymore.
I don't either.
There's nothing. Nope. I just take a protein loaf. First of all, the fiber in that is unbelievable, and it keeps me satisfied. I've yet to find a protein bar that holds me, that makes me feel like I just ate something. So that loaf that has
me feel like I need to eat another one.
Oh my God, exactly. But that loaf, I just had it on the way here. I feel great. I feel like I'm held over for a few more hours.
A big loaf.
But it's like, but the macros are very close to what a bar would be.
Right.
That it's like, okay, you get this for a little nothing, and now I'm like, okay, now what am I eating? It goes right through me. It's like nothing.
Yeah, they don't do it.
So the loaves are so satisfying. And then what I did was I just baked 8 loaves, and where did I just come back from? I was in Seattle.
Oh, you were in New York.
I was in New York. The loaves went right into my backpack. I wrapped them each in a foil. They go in a bag, and I eat them my entire trip. If you are at a place where you pop them in the fridge, you can. In California, I actually kept them in my bag the whole time. They lasted, I think it was like 6 days, and they didn't even need to be refrigerated. And I just kept pulling out a loaf. And if I was in a pinch, I was like, oh my God, I have a loaf, thank God. So my first meal was the oatmeal and Devotion. Yeah. My second meal was the loaf. It got me through a lot of the day. Right. And then if only, like your last meal is your...
Oh, that one you can always figure out. That so you get some clean protein and some vegetables.
Okay, yeah. So eating out in restaurants.
Okay.
All right. So if we're going now,
it's actually not that hard
to eat in a restaurant.
It's not hard if you go to quality restaurants. I think if you go to sports bars and places like that, you're going to find it very difficult to stay on track. Even a Cheesecake Factory, places like that do not have items on their menu that you can eat. You might get some kind of chicken satay and don't put the sauce. But other than that,
you have to become
rough.
really good at altering menu items at some places because if you order them right the way that they are on the menu, oh my God, some of them are the calories that I would eat in a day are in one dish.
Well, in salads, people think they're getting a healthy salad, and there's so much in it. If you added up all those calories, it's insane.
Right. And they call it a salad, and yet all of the things they're adding, the crispy tortillas and the fried, and the heavy
even
dressing.
The cranberries are coated in sugar.
Right. All of the things. Right. And so it ends up taking
the pecans sugar coated.
Yeah. So the salad, a lunch portion can be 900 calories.
Yep, they are.
Right. And then if you do that every day of your trip, or if you're doing that just every day, even on your regular life, so many people go out to eat for lunch every day from work. And it's like, oh my God. And the thing is some menus do have the calories, but many do not. And then people are kind of just like, it's like ignorance is bliss, It's like, okay, well, I don't know what the calories are, so I'm going to eat this and hope for the best. But really, a lot of them.
Well, if you were in a real pinch,
I
mean, you need to, if you can order the salad, and and eliminate
get things grilled. Don't get things fried. Don't make sure you get the dressing on the side of your salad so you can portion that out. If not, restaurants. Look, we owned a restaurant back after college, and we got to see how
Why everything tastes
why
so good.
everything tasted so good. When you go to restaurants, you're like, God, this just tastes so good. It's like better than when I make it at home. I mean, some restaurants. And yeah, it's because they're like coating the stuff with butter and they're...
Oh, God, they have this thing called a mop, and they're mopping the chicken on the grill with this whole mixture of butter and who knows what else. Egg whites are fluffy and delicious because they add oil.
Yep.
I mean, it's...
Yeah.
The only way you really know what you're eating is if you
eat at home, which is
or
why
you
we do
bring your
so
food
much of
with
that.
you.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. But when you're traveling, that's not the case. So
All right.
it's like
So
you're
anyway,
making the best of it.
if you go to a good restaurant,
yeah.
you can order grilled fish. You can order, vegetables. Even if you had to get a Caesar salad and have them leave everything off of it or pick it off yourself.
Yeah.
Get balsamic vinegar, lemons,
Yeah.
Truvia to make a dressing.
So what happens to me when I go on trips and I come back complaining on my social media and to everybody who's in my small circle, like you, it's really because we say, let the wheels fall off at the end because I stop being that particular. Mm-hmm. I'll order the salad and it'll have croutons in it and they'll have bacon or they'll have like all these like little, and I'm like, fine, just leave it. Oh, just leave it.
It happens to you not because you don't know better.
No.
You decide it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat. That's what you do. But Dana, you've said it yourself, you're like black and white. You don't know how to go out to eat and kind of splurge a little.
Right.
No, that's not Dana. Now, when Dana decides she's going to, go out to eat and eat whatever the heck she wants, she sits down and she's the girl who orders one of every appetizer for the table. And then when we get to dessert, she can't decide because she loves dessert. So she orders one of every dessert.
Yeah.
Now,
I like buffets. I like buffets.
You always said that. I love buffet.
I don't like being locked in. I like to go to buffets. I don't want to be locked into one option. I like...
another thing. That's another thing. You can't do buffets. Because we go to our country club and Dana does the buffet. Oh, my God. Her food is not on a plate. It looks like a mountain of food. That's just the first.
I show up at the table and everyone's like...
The first round. That's her first round. That's just salad. She starts with salad. And it looks like a small mountain. And then she goes back to get the next round and then the next. And then she does dessert. And by the time we leave, she's having twins again.
Oh, yeah. I've left buffets at the clubs and, oh, my God, in pain. My pants unbuttoned. Terrible. And, because it's this is why I say struggle, because I struggle with moderation. I do struggle with, I love volume. I don't know what my whole issue has always been with I feel like I can't get enough and buffets get me excited. And it's like, I used to be so obsessed with food and what's the next meal going to be. And I mean, that's really been, and that'll be a whole nother episode of when it's like you're almost too into food, which is what my whole life and struggle has been.
I don't know why. You're just born like that.
I was just born that way. I don't know. And it's like, that's why I've always had my big ass salad. I want to eat out of this big bowl. I don't want to feel
I know,
like
but even that, I never thought that was right because you're stretching your stomach. My God, why do you need to eat that much?
Right. No, it's not right. I don't know why.
All right, so I want to just make one more comment about when I go out to eat with you and you decide you're going to eat big.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, you look great, even though you're deciding that you're going to eat whatever you want. So I look at you and I think, wow, Dana looks amazing. She's all shredded and she's eating that. So I'll eat it too. And then I eat like a pig, like you. I eat all the dessert. Yeah. And then I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because I don't eat like that and I can't eat like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're a very bad influence for me.
I've been a bad influence. You've hung out with other people who've been bad influences. You've dated men in the past who've been big eaters and you went along with it, or if you
and that's
like when you dated and then you went through. It's like, okay, if they're having a beer or they're
that's when
crackers
my
and cheese
whole body changed after I got divorced and I started dating.
Yeah,
and I ate like the way they ate.
Yeah,
with more drinking than I ever did.
That's another hard part. It's like
eating.
You want to be a people pleaser, and you want to. That's also the thing. It's like I didn't want people not want to be social with me, and it's like, oh, Dana, are you like a weird eater? Oh, you only eat. So then I'd like go out with everybody, and I'd be like, no, I'm cool too. I'd like to eat all this fun stuff, but really, it's like, I shouldn't be eating all that stuff because it's not good for me. And I do have the body type that this trip to New York was 3-4 days. And like the first 2, I was doing great. The last 2, I ate whatever I wanted. Not like a pig, or not like where I was just like going through like binging, but like I said, I the salads, I sampled all the stuff at the show and I was doing whatever. I came home, I'm like, what is my problem? Like now I'm all full. I'm all just bloated, distorted. I feel awful. I didn't drink my water. I ate all this stuff I shouldn't have eaten. I don't know.
All right. Well, this is why I don't like to travel.
Because I know it's really
much as
hard.
we know what to do, we could preach it. We try to do it.
It just throws you off your routine.
It's very hard to stick with it.
It
very
really
hard.
is. It throws you off your routine. And then I always have to, my body loves cardio. It has for years. And, it's funny because in the recent years, people have always spoken about how it's like, oh, you don't need all the cardio and you don't need all the cardio. But I'm like, God, cardio played a huge role for my body type. I mean, everyone's body type's different. Like, I mean, when we say body types are different, like you never even struggled with all like the monthly period issues that I struggled with. I mean, I get bloating and cramping and I get cravings and I look terrible. I mean, I don't remember growing up that you complained about that. You never had any of that. I'm a freaking mess like most of the month. I get like 1 week a month that I'm like not bloated or
you're
cramping.
My daughter, but there's nothing alike with us about food.
No.
I could go all day without eating. I don't get crazy. You used to get that dog jaw.
I get dog jaw. I get angry. I get hangry.
Yeah, you're horrible.
Greg tells me the only time he doesn't love me is when I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not pleasant
like
to be around if I'm hungry.
I'm hungry, so I'm hungry. But then it goes away and I'm not even hungry anymore.
Yeah. No, I
never struggled with my weight. I never.
Yes, and I have been.
Had that problem.
I have struggled so hard that it's been a real struggle. My whole weight, my whole thing. I mean, I'm 43, and even though I've come a far way, here I am again this morning. I woke up, I took that trip. I'm still now 8 pounds up from when I left. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Why am I still so full?
All right, well,
I can't stand it.
One thing with you is, I've heard this a million times.
Yeah.
You travel and then you always come back. Sometimes you come back 10 pounds heavier.
Oh, 15. I came back from Vegas at one time. Nobody even recognized me. I was on the scale.
Wait,
my
your
whole
legs
body
get
was
huge.
distended and distorted.
I know, but Dana, how many days did it take you?
Didn't even look like I worked. It looked like I was. I know, but then it's like it takes me like a week and a half to recover from a trip.
A week and a half.
But that's a lot.
No, it just gets upsetting to you, and
it's
I have to hear
because
about
it's a week and a half of not fitting in my clothes right. It's a week and a half of feeling uncomfortable, not feeling good, feeling irritated. Like, it's like, then it's like, I got back and I haven't even lifted weights yet because I don't even want to look at myself in the mirror right now. It's like everything is just full and uncomfortable and I just don't feel good. And it's weird. And now I don't know. And it's funny, no matter how much I improve through the years, it's like my standards for myself just keep going up. So then I keep setting my standards higher and higher. And it's like, I give myself grace. I mean, sometimes I like step back and I say, Dana, you look great. Like, calm down. Like,
you should calm down now because you look amazing.
Well, thank you. Thank you. But I just, and I tried to stay off the scale. And then I had a doctor's appointment second day we got back. And then they weighed me because that's like just, what you do, like when you go to the doctor. And I looked down and I left for the trip, about 8 pounds lighter. And I was like, are you kidding me? I wasn't even going to look at that because that's not, and then it can ruin your day if you see that number, even though that number is such BS. And I know that it's BS. I did not eat enough calories to gain that weight. I know it. I am such an educated woman. And yet for some reason, us women, we still let that stupid number, like, what?
No,
it's
it's
such
true.
a stupid number.
It's funny. My weight's been up the last few days, and then it came down. And yesterday, it's the lowest that it's been in a while. So today, I didn't weigh myself because I thought, no, I feel so good about the number.
Ride the wave.
Yesterday, there's no way I'm weighing myself today in case it went up.
Yeah.
I ruin it.
And the funny thing is, and when I, on TikTok, somebody even asked me, oh, do you go by weight or how you look? And I'm thinking like, I see people where they'll post and they'll say what their weight is. And they don't even look like me. They look nothing. And we might weigh the exact same. And I think, who the hell cares what your weight is? That doesn't even, all that is.
No, you know that the number doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't matter. And it's like, but yet, I don't know. It's like we have this idea in our head. It's like, and then I used to always think, I will feel great if I weighed this. And then I got to that number and I was like, oh no, I'm not satisfied. That's not okay. So now I'm going to go. It's like, I feel like maybe it's everything. It's like, even with devotion, it's like I set sales goals or things I wanted to do for devotion or goals. And then we get there and I'm like on to the next goal. Like, I'm like, no, that's not good enough. Okay. We got to keep pushing. I want the next, but it's good. It keeps you hungry and it keeps you motivated for self-improvement. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I think there's nothing wrong with it as long as you keep a healthy outlook. Look, we're not like crazy, but we're also, it's not obsessive. It's just, we always want to feel good and fit our clothes. I know you've been upset lately just because you have a closet full of gorgeous clothes and you go to put them on and nothing even fits and you're like frustrated.
I feel like you can't give up. It wouldn't be acceptable to me to gain, a lot of weight. Be out of shape. So I don't give up. I'm always working on myself, but I do that in every area.
Right. In every area of life, let's give up. Yeah.
Talk about one more thing about going out to eat that I don't think we mentioned.
Okay.
I don't know if other people, if everybody does this or not, but when I'm going out to eat, I think to myself, how am I going to function tonight? How am I going to order?
Right.
Okay. So sometimes I decide I'm not drinking any alcohol. So what do I drink? I always use a stemmed wine glass and I get sparkling water with lime. And I'll drink that whole bottle and I'm happy with that. That's great. But I always try to plan what my strategy is going to be.
Right.
Am I going to eat bread with olive oil? Am I not going to eat bread? Am I going to get an appetizer? Am I going to eat beef?
I have to ask myself, am I going to eat 6 baskets of tortilla chips if we go out for Mexican?
No, but I have to know, what am I going to do? Am I going to tell them I don't want any bread on the table, which is what I prefer to do?
Yeah.
Because then it's not tempting. But then if I'm with somebody who, like Rocky, wants the bread, then
or
we
another
get
couple,
bread. And
you
then,
can't exactly say, like, take the bread away because maybe they want it.
So then it takes willpower to not eat the bread. So I have to have figured that out in advance that I'm not going to eat the bread.
Yeah.
But see, another thing, and then, goes on for everything about the meal. So, I know how I'm going to order.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I'm going to have dessert or I'm not going to have dessert or just a taste. Now, that's another thing. I could take a taste of a dessert. I could take a tiny bit of the bread. You can't.
Yeah. Well, you know what? But in recent times,
I need a taste.
But in recent times that I've now been keeping under control now for quite a while, I will say, because the way you make massive changes, which I obviously have, it's not like I don't have willpower. Don't know, like, look what I've turned myself into. But it's oh God, what was I about to say? It's
we're talking about portion size, like how I can take a taste, but you usually...
it's remembering what it feels like the next day. Like the feeling I'm feeling right now, it's like I've got to keep remembering that feeling of like, you're going to feel awful. Like it's not worth it. Take a couple tastes. You don't need to eat the whole darn thing. And then tomorrow or the next day, you are going to regret this. Why? And I'm not saying don't taste it or don't have a few tablespoons or a teaspoon, whatever, and share the dessert. But it's like, no, I don't need to sit there and eat the entire thing myself and then eat this and eat that. And then all of a sudden, or say, oh, YOLO, I'm on vacation, having fun. And then get home. It's like, it's such a crappy feeling to get home and then be like, oh, what did I do?
See, I always say, even for somebody's birthday party or whatever it is, it's like, if you've decided that you need to tighten up your diet and, and not eat sweets or whatever, I always say, like, you've already tasted cake.
Yeah.
You know what tortilla chips taste like.
Yeah.
So why are you eating them? Why are you tasting them?
Yeah.
See, now for you think about how you're going to feel in the future or what it's going to do to your body. All right, I don't think like that. Mm-hmm. To me, I'd rather have a plan in advance.
Yeah. I plan. I know how I'm going to show up.
All right, well, I wasn't going to eat any of this.
I mean, obviously, I always carry my food with me. I do have plans on a lot of times, though, when you see me, it's because I have been planning, knowing, it's Sunday fun day at Mom's house. I've dieted the entire week. I've done cardio. I've trained. I am looking shredded, and I'm ready to eat. because I also don't believe in keeping my calories so low and going, because if I don't finally take a break, it breaks me. It's like I finally get to the point where I am like, and then I'll end up binging in my pantry or doing something stupid.
Right.
But instead I save that for like a really fun social time with my family, or I'll save it for the out to dinner if I know we have a birthday coming up. So a lot of times when my family sees me, and you'll say, God, Dana, you look great. You look shredded, like you just said. Yeah, because I've been doing everything. This is my night to do that.
All right. And another thing I know you do, I know you don't let your kids see you eating any, like, restrictively in any way. First of all, she never uses the word diet. She only talks about healthy eating around her children.
Healthy eating, strong. Why do I do it? Why am I doing it?
She doesn't want her kids to have eating disorders.
No.
Or to be so focused on their weight.
No.
But Dana does eat everything with her kids.
I'm not the mom. Like if they say, Mom, try this cake or try this ice cream, or if we're out, I will do it just because I'm not going to be the mom to say, no, I'm not eating that. I'm not eating. No, every now and then, if they offer me, Mom, you want a gummy worm? Mom, you want, and they're eating, I'll just say, Mommy doesn't eat gummy worms, because I'm like, sorry. Or I'll say like, I don't know. I don't need that. And I'll be honest with them. And I'll say, I don't just eat candy just to eat it. And like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But and then they will also say, Mom, are you always going to have your salad at dinner? Are you always? And I say, yeah, I prefer to eat a lot of vegetables and protein. And then I'll let them know, like, but when what they see what I eat is not some small portion. It's not some like restrictive diet. I mean, I'll never. They're seeing me eat rice and asparagus and the chicken, and I eat the steak with the family. So even though, I keep my physique the way that it is, they're not seeing me do any weird, and like I'll do my cardio.
You eat everything, and you eat big, good sized portions.
Yeah, and then everything.
And by the way, I've upped my portion size too.
Good.
I wasn't eating enough.
Yeah,
my skin was starting to get wrinkly.
Yeah,
even on my legs because I wasn't eating enough. Now it's filled out.
Yeah, that's good. And then I
haven't gained weight from it.
Good. Well, because your metabolism is finally jacking up.
Different than what I used to do. I try to eat less calories.
Right.
I don't do that anymore.
So yeah, the lingo in our house is because of the fact that with the twins and just everyone, even with Bodhi, I say to Bodhi, like, Bodhi, are you going to eat your dinner? You need your steak. Like, how are you going to grow your muscles? You need to be strong. You need to be, you need carbohydrates for energy. You ride your bike 20 miles a day, probably more actually. It's like, where are you getting your energy from? Gummy worms? Like, you can't eat like that. So fortunately, they do love all the devotion stuff I make. So it's like if I say, Mom made banana cake, I made brownies, I made what, they grab them, they eat them, they happily go over to the stove and eat whatever the heck I make.
I would too.
Yeah. And Bodhi has his protein shake that he always makes and loves. So yeah, I mean, and we always talk about like, why are we doing it? It's not to be skinny. It's not to be on a diet. It's to be strong, to be healthy. We're eating it for energy. We're eating it, all of that. So yeah, that was a good point you made, Mom. All right, so those are all important things.
I've said everything.
You said everything in your notes?
I made notes so I wouldn't forget.
Okay. All right, so, well, you know what? We don't, my iPad or my phone notes are full of more topics I want to discuss, but I think we did a good job with this topic today. This was a good one. Now, we're not saying don't travel.
No.
Travel. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy life.
Be prepared with your
And if you do a trip that you say YOLO and you whatever, go off the deep end, because we've all done it and we've all, come back. I mean, geez, like I just said, and we've given examples of how we've come back. You know what? Just get back on track.
That's what you have to do. Don't keep going.
As soon as you get it. What did I do? As soon as I got home, first of all, I ordered my groceries from the airplane that were delivered right when I got home. I started meal prepping. I made my loaves. I put my slow cooker chicken in. I was right back on track. The next day, I went for my walk. I do my cardio. It's like you can't sit and wallow and now get upset. And you know what? Throw on some baggy clothes if it makes you uncomfortable that you're bloated for a few days. Get in the water. Just start. Just get going, get back. And just like where I am right now, okay, it's going to take me a couple days. I'm going to start shedding the bloat. I'm going to start to my body will remember where we were. I'll be back in no time. But don't just because you did that on vacation. You got home, you feel like crap. It's like, okay,
Yeah, don't get depressed about it.
leave it in the past. Leave it
Right,
on
you already
vacation.
did it.
What happens on vacation stays on vacation.
No, and you know what? Sometimes I'm happy that I ate what I ate because I got to
If you're going to
experience
play-
great
exactly.
food in Italy and things like that.
Yes.
Or Greece. And
I
I'm
always
happy
say
I ate
that.
it.
Yes.
But you know what? Now I have to go back to the way I function and eat.
Yes, especially if you're going to another country, experience the culture, do
Yes,
the
you
stuff,
should.
eat the stuff, but and maybe just don't go crazy. But if you do, you do, and you'll recover. But this is just
Well, try not to go so crazy that you have 30 pounds to lose because
well. I mean, hey, it happens.
No.
But no, yeah, you get I think everybody understands, and these were just some of our tips, and just to know you're not alone. And
hope it's helpful.
yes, all right. Well, thank you for joining in today, and we will see you next time on Until It's Done, a Devoted podcast.